Hi guys. I've been around on LinkedIn for a long time, and in the light of the current pandemic and a lot of things going on, people are finding it hard to either stay in jobs or find good jobs. Some people are looking to get out of the humdrum of the corporate lifestyle and go more into the startup phase or startup lifestyle, and some are looking to come out of the small business and go into the corporate world. So in your banks, etc. We operate differently to the rest of the world, and as will every other country. There will be different nuances, etc. Because the South African market there's a high need of skills, but a higher barrier to entry for a lot of those skills because of companies needing the best talent to get their company going. So the purpose of me doing this series, which I'm going to split into 6 parts, is helping you find something using LinkedIn as a tool. Well, I'm going to focus on a few tools that I've used personally, but I'm going to start with LinkedIn because everyone at this point should have either a resume or a CV, and it's all well and good, but we are not like in the rest of the world where we have to make it comparable with these scanning systems, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make your profile as bulletproof as possible, as complete as possible, not for that sense of fulfillment, but when you actually hit the button to say that you are looking for a job and you're really keen on getting it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to set up a LinkedIn profile, so you can just go to the website, sign up, etc., and fill in all your personal details. Make sure you fill in your location, very important. You spell your name correctly, and you put a professional picture. The most people who tend to put these low grain photos, etc., you are already giving recruiters and HR managers, etc., you sort of taking points off that. So imagine you start with 10 points when you have your profile. Hiring managers only look at it for a few seconds to determine whether they want to read your profile or not. So we're gonna focus on getting it bulletproof and ready. So as soon as you sign up with LinkedIn, and even this is for people who already have a LinkedIn account but are dormant or not that active, you don't need to be posting all the time to get noticed. LinkedIn is an awesome tool in that if you want to succeed, or if you want to be a creator, engagement is important. But if you're just using it as a tool to have that sort of like a online business card, sort of online business profile, or online commercial company profile, or online profile, it's honestly the best tools out there. So what we're going to do is first, so when you log in, the first thing you're going to do is, if you are focusing your profile on finding jobs, right? Your job tool is going to be your most important. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to look for recruiter. So some companies, they name themselves as recruiter, working at X company, but we are going to actually look for recruiters in a location near us to follow, right? So LinkedIn search, it's quite cool. You've got 2 million results similar or near to your location or your place of birth, for example, and you're going to start connecting with them. But first, what we're going to do is I want you to go to your profile, So this is not just aesthetics, it gives that professional look of your profile. So a lot of the elder statesmen who know about the MySpace, I remember, if you remember, you could actually come to your MySpace profile, have some music playing or whatever the case is. A nice cover photo does go a long way. So I went to a website called pexels.com, and you can put something in here like business or whatever the case is. Make sure it's horizontal, long ways, however you want to call it, a rectangle instead of a square, so it fits properly. And take something preferably without a person in it, because these are just stock photos. These are like generic photos. These are models on here that took these are not you. If you actually have a photo of you shaking someone's hand or working at a desk like this, then you can, right? But for now, let's use so something generic. So I went ahead and used this desk with coffee and a laptop and a computer, etc. You can straighten the photo, zoom it, you can add filters to it. Really not important. I just left it original. And your profile photo, make sure it's something professional, not you at a club or a party, or you try and make it as professional as possible. Preferably if you your hands are folded, you're facing straight to the right, straight to the left, for example, and it goes a long way in adding that professional look to your profile. Your tagline. So if you hit edit, now your headline, people usually go with the safest thing, senior developer at, or software engineer at, or project manager at X company. While it is cool to mention your current company, and this I changed only recently, my previous tagline was caffeine to code converter, because software developers spend late nights with code. So I had that caffeine to code converter, and then you're going to start adding positions. So if you just joined a company and you're unsure of of course your roles are going to be specifically identified and told to you in a specification document when you were joining. Yeah, that's all well and good. You can copy and paste that. But once you get into the job, you'll actually feel a way of what you are doing in your current role and what your profile dictates. So say for example you hired as a software engineer, and you want to highlight the fact that you're deploying infrastructure with Terraform, or you working primarily on AWS, you might want to highlight that. The reason I'm saying that is because LinkedIn does not show the full block of text in specific areas. So I'm going to get to the about section anymore, but you see they have the see more, and then here I haven't put anything yet because I just joined this company. See more. So your first few lines should capture, so your first basically 200 to 300 characters should capture what you want the user to read on your profile. So once you are done with your current position, etc., it's not a good thing to say, but some people have side hustles, etc., and they don't want to show their current company in your intro. That's fine. Some people want to show their education because a lot of requirements of companies require you to have a degree. You can show your education here. Make sure all this is filled in. I think it's important. And your contact info in here, I'm not going to open this, but yeah, you can put in some form of contact. It's not good to mix personal and professional, and a lot of the time people say, oh, but yeah, you need to have them linked. I don't think that's the case. The reason is that background checks, etc., are done on that profile. If someone you don't know or your friends mention you or tag you in something that's unsavory or racist or homophobic or Islamophobic or something like that, it's you can become guilty by association. So have your business profile and your social profiles separate. That's just my opinion. Next, you are going to go to your about. Now, about, as I said, the first 200 to 300 words, characters, capture the recruiter or the HR manager. So over here, I have a technical savvy software developer. So I've crammed two. So make sure you get as much points across in your first 2 lines as possible. So I've managed to cram in here technical savvy. So I said that I like to find the details. I'm mechanically or engineering geared. I'm a software developer. That's what I do with a degree. So I'm educated in software engineering, so I know what I'm doing, and 10 years of progressive experience. So add an adjective. So you've already told the recruiter in the first line that you sort of have an engineering mind. You're a developer. You have a degree, and you have over 10 years of experience, right? And then working with various global software vendors. So global, that speaks to a company that has a global audience or global customer base. And then you can, once this grabs them, they'll be wanting to click more and start reading your profile. It's important to keep this at a medium length, not too long, not too short. Something too short will tell someone that you are too lazy to put effort into your profile, into your job hunt, so they'll sort of like deprioritize you. And yeah, this is me speaking purely from a job seeker's perspective, not an employer's perspective or recruiter's perspective. So if you're a recruiter and you have any thoughts on that, just let me know. Use words like highly skilled and logical, etc., and speak of an accomplishment that you're proud of. So I stated here that my accelerated rise from support to intermediate developer in my previous roles in a short space of 3 years. So basically, starting there, I'm a hotshot, right? And I use words like discipline, and then you just throw in some specialties. Now this is repetitive, but this is just me. It's aimed at the target market that I was looking at for a job, and then save that. Right now, your current experiences, right? Here you can go long. I would specify everything about the role, because you need to know what programming languages you use, what experience you had when it came to with dealing with customers, dealing with clients, dealing with stakeholders, dealing with your bosses, your managers, etc. What were your interactions? What were those interactions? So you worked in all phases of the data pipeline. If you co-founded a company, look, these words are called doing words, verbs. Like that's what you were actually doing. And then of course you add a little stack in there. You can append documents. So at this point, when I was at the Mr. Price Group, I appended my resume, a short resume at that time. You can totally have that in, or you can remove it. It's completely up to you. But that was at that point in time, so it would be moot right now. What I can say about this: make sure the dates are accurate, make sure the area is accurate. In light of the current situation, were you working remotely? Were you not working remotely? Were you just make it as informative as possible. Okay, and see, they bundled up the experiences at the bottom. So make sure your current experiences have as much detail as possible, because the rest are going to be bundled up. So these are my older experiences, right? Now these are important because at the end of the process, we're going to export this profile. We're going to be exporting this. So it's going to all be put into a PDF, and I'll show you how that looks a bit later. Okay. Companies you can find them on LinkedIn. They are registered on LinkedIn. So when you put in your company name, they actually might come up like that. Make sure you tick currently working as well. Like if you want to update your industry or your headline based on the job that you are currently in, you can tick these boxes. What it does is when it shares with your network, they will ping those specific industries. Okay. Share with network, very important. LinkedIn, I know it sounds a bit boisterous and haughty, is that your achievements, be it big or small, should be out there for people to see. There's a lot of showing off on LinkedIn, and people have their own opinions on this, and I've seen a lot of these posts where people say, I started from the bottom and here I am, and that's all well and good. But that's speaking to a motivational sense. If you want to motivate yourself or others by posting those kind of things, completely up to you. For me, I take a professional stance on that. What you can do is you just celebrate your professional achievements. If you got a certificate, you added it to your profile, you can copy the link, put it in the status, and send it off. And that's the engagement you have. People congratulate you on it, and again, we're going to get to that a bit later. Okay, so we're done with putting our experience in on, and make sure you take time. Don't just copy paste things from your CV. If I copied and pasted things from my CV, I wouldn't have so much in here or here. So a lot of companies, so say for example, in this particular instance, if you co-founded a company, right? The notion that a lot of the bigger corporates, etc., will get is that, number one, that you're a person who is a self-starter. You're not technically a person who follows orders, etc. So just be wary of that. Then this is a lot of companies, I'm not saying all, but weigh your options. I'm not saying hide it from your profile. You can rephrase it another way. That's just a top tip from my side. And then your education. It's not really important to put your school in if you're not in an entry level or a junior level, so mid to senior, etc. It's not really that important, but it is important. Highlight your achievements when you were there. So if you got 90%, if you got an A for a module, put it in there. Just make sure you get the start and end dates right. I mean, you don't have to put a month, you can put a year, because no one really remembers what date they started. And then license and certifications. Nowadays we have online licensing certification. So let's say this diploma I got, they have a link that you can copy, and you can actually view the credential. So so this, I got a distinction in the. So make sure that this link you put in when you're doing this. So the credential URL, that's what it is. It can have IDs also. You get this from your issuer of the certificate. So your Java SE8, I've got a credential ID there instead of a link. There's another one, credential ID. So if they click the ID or they query it with an API, for example, it'll bring through the correct certification, and it holds more weight, because if you have a verified certification, it holds more weight. Skill quizzes, I didn't find that to be as advantageous in the South African context, but again, completely up to you. My advice, not really needed. And accomplishments, a lot of your projects are hidden, or that can't be displayed because your company wouldn't allow you to. You can just put in a general name of a project. You don't have to like generally what you did at the project. You don't have to say what exactly it was. And when you get to the interview, which I will help you with, by the way, you can talk a bit more about it, obviously, with the whole confidentiality, etc. Recommendations. Give as much recommendations as you can, and you shall receive. There's also another section another thing you can do in LinkedIn, where you can give kudos to a teammate. That says a lot about you as a person. If you are congratulatory of someone, or you want to give someone props, the companies that actually like that, that you publicly recognizing a fellow employee or associate of yours who's done something great, they like you, they like that kind of attitude that you have. Do that, and I'll show you how to do that. And I want you to save this for last, your tagline. Now, I put something catchy in here because when you searching for someone, so let's go search for someone. Let's just go search for a developer. So again, I'm not saying anything wrong with these people. It just shows software developer, and because I search for developer, and the search is quite good. What sets you apart is this is catchy. I do insane things with data, or caffeine to code converter. A person will find you as a developer by your last position, because the search does go that deep. So it doesn't matter that you don't have it here. So yeah, that's your profile. There's other sections, and I'm going to show you how to build your resume, etc. There's other sections you can add in here, which to me is not that important right now for the South African contest. Well, of course, if you're in America, etc., it's all well and good, because people actually look for that, and these services, etc., they have plugins that pull all that stuff. But here's the thing for me, right? Get the app. It's very important to get the LinkedIn app for your phone. You don't have to have all the notifications blaring all the time, just messages, etc. But it has these cool reply features where you can acknowledge a message from a person. So say, for example, someone says, hey, I saw your profile, can you maybe send me an email so I can send you a job that we have open, a spec for a job, etc. That's where we're coming to next. So once you're done with all that, try and make your profile an all-star profile. You're gonna go open to. Now, if you are finding a new job, even if you are casually looking, just say that you are actively applying. It'll prioritize you in the algorithm. And contract positions usually end up in full-time positions if it is not project specific. So say for example, it's a 3-month contract or 6-month contract with a view to a full-time, and you have to obviously make that clear in the interview. But I would say immediately after applying, you are open to remote work, and you are open to contract titles. Be specific about your title. Don't put a broad spectrum hoping to catch something, because you need to. So this is your filter, right? This is your funnel. If you want to be a developer, that's a bit too general. Go, if you majoring, if you have a strength with Python, you put Python developer. If you have a strength with Java, you put Java developer. There are different positions in here that could get you the right job at the right place at the right time. And once you are done with that, make sure that all LinkedIn members can see. Now, of course, if you don't want to rattle the cage at your current job, you can say recruiters only. But some HR people are recruiters, so it's completely up to you. Yeah. The other thing about your profile being very specific and laid out like this is that job sites use your LinkedIn login. So they say, do you want to upload your profile? Do you want to fill in details or use your LinkedIn login? Now, firstly, I don't understand, and if someone could explain to me why once you upload your resume, you still have to go to the next page on their website and fill out all your details again. That to me is poor development. You could get a better website that actually reads CVs for that. But what's cool about LinkedIn is twofold. One is they have a login or sign in with LinkedIn button, which it'll pull through all the details based on your sections, and that's why sections is very important. And number two, you can build your resume. So you could use, so previously if you used it, but you could upload it. I don't advise that. I would say create from profile. So if you want specific developer position, it'll tailor make your insights and your CV or resume according to what you're looking for. So you could have developer, so let's say you want to go back end developer, right? And then you say apply, right? You can preview this, and there it is. A clickable link with your email address. So it's not going to give out your phone number. So they'll if you choose to, you can add it to your profile. I would say if you're in immediate need of a job, then you should put your number in so people can call you. But it's 90% of the time they're going to email you, and then you can download as a PDF. And there it is. Yeah, your profile in here that you can use. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, it has the relevant, it's not very fancy, you don't need to pay someone to do it, it's already there for you, and it's in a nice printable version if you want to kill some trees. Okay, the second thing, you don't have to post all the time. I'm gonna say that many times. You don't have to post all the time. People are going to be posting these meaningless polls. Do you agree? Do you agree? They're just looking for engagement. They're just looking for clicks. They're just looking for likes. And then obviously you'll get targeted ads. I mean, which platform doesn't have targeted ads? Once you add the open to work title, once you save your open to, you will have a ring around your profile that says open to work, sort of like that. So if you look at this, if you hover over this profile, why I said it's important is, number one, you have the open to work banner. So recruiters who have hiring banner, which is a purple one, they look for this, number one, right? And number two is your headline goes on there. So just make sure your headline is comprehensive, right? And you don't have to comment on profiles. You don't have to comment on posts, only if the post requires you to. So say for example, hey guys, I'm looking for a developer for 6 months. Please let me know if you're interested. You can like it, you can share it, you can say hi, I'm gonna PM you, right? So looking at this post, there's a link here that you can click. You don't actually need to comment on it, but you can like and you can comment and say hi, I've sent you a PM, and then you go and you can click on the person. So once you click on a person, right, they are able to see that you have clicked on their profile, and that also piques a person's interest because that's one of the notifications in your notification bar. Alternatively, you could just hover over them and just say message if you don't want to show them that you, but I would advise that you show them that you clicked on their profile, because when most of the time, and this is just a LinkedIn thing, if you clicked on someone's profile, they clicked on your profile. That's kind of how it works. So you go notifications and you see that someone viewed your profile, right? Now a lot of people ask me, now my percentage has dropped since I found a new job, and I updated to say that I'm no longer able to work. But looking at this, I had 294 profile viewers in the past 90 days, and that's actually a slow week. So you can see people who looked at your profile, and you can either add them or message them. You can connect with them and how they found you, right? So you go to your network. Now connections, right? Remember I said first what we're going to do is if you are creating your profile solely for to find a job, right? You're going to search for recruiter, right? And you're going to either follow a recruiter because they post job updates, or you're going to connect with one that's close to you or your area and that has a lot of connections, right? So I'm just, again, to these people, I'm not saying anything about you, etc. Okay. Recruiters you could use, you shouldn't find founders or CEOs or directors of recruitment companies. You should go for the ones working for those working under them, because a lot of the time heads and directors and CEOs, etc., they don't check LinkedIn all the time, right? But say you look at this, someone, you see they have 500 plus connections. It's a good network. You should follow them, because they follow or they connect with companies that are hiring as well as people who are seeking. So it's a good network to follow these people. Once you start following people, so let's go and find someone. It's going to give you a whole lot of suggestions based on who you worked with, what's your current company, and if not your current company, your current area, your current university, etc. So it's going to add people who work with you, people who interacted with a company that you interacted with. So say for example, I found a job through OfficeN, and I tagged a few people in a post because they sent me some cool swag. More on them later. And you can connect, and it suggests to you. So it's all about connections here on LinkedIn. So the more details you fill in, the more connections that LinkedIn can create, the further your reach can get to. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of these companies, they post jobs, etc. I've never found a meaningful connection through a job post from a company, which is why I don't follow a lot of them. I found meaningful posts like for courses, seminars, etc. Yeah. So you can connect with people in your network, and you can create that connection. Now with that connection, people who are recruiting who is this person's friend or this person's connection will become your second connection. So if you look, just trying to look for someone. Yeah, let's go to who's viewed my profile. Okay, so I'm going to go to notifications. So it tells me that this person is a first connection. That means it's a person that I know, like directly. And a second connection is a person I know through someone I know. So you see that even I'm connected to can you see I'm connected to 11 people who are, with him, 11 people who are friends with him. He found me via homepage. So one of my posts or my job update, for example, appeared on his, and that's how LinkedIn gets people connected. Yeah. So creating connections on LinkedIn is very important. Once you start getting acquainted with recruiters, etc., then start connecting to your friends. I mean, you can add your personal contacts here. You can go continue with your email address. You can find them, but remember, if you find them, they'll be able to see your profile and be able to see that you saw them. But there is a way of turning that off if you want to. That's completely up to you. That's all in your privacy options. So you've done that, and you've done everything that you need to. The last thing you need to do is simple things. You're going to start getting profile updates. Congratulate your friends. It's that simple. It's just LinkedIn actually suggests something for you, and you can just go do it like that. Wish people happy birthday. You don't know where's your R1,000,000 connection somewhere. So just wish someone happy birthday. Simple thing like that. Just happy birthday. And you don't know that being nice could one day, land you the job of your career. In specifically targeted at developers, the next part is going to be focused on talking about meaningful projects and getting your GitHub profile up. And I'm going to show you how to prepare for those coding interviews and setting up your profile and where to put your profile. So yeah, please share this with people you know. Send them the link, and see you in the next one.